The state of the world. If your view of the world comes from watching the news and reading newspaper, you could be forgiven for lying awake at night worrying about the future. Apparently, rising violence and population rates means humans are both killing each other in ever larger numbers and being born at rates the world's resource can sustain. To make matters worse, all the wealth is concentrated of a handful of people in the world's richest country. People in low-income country live in poverty while the West gets richer. Depressing, isn't it? Let's take global population first. It's around 7 billion now, in line with figures predicted by the UN in 1958. By the year 2100, the same expert predicate will be around 11 billion. But did you know that 11 billion is probably as high as the number will get? The rate of increase will slow down in the second half of this century, thanks to falling birth rates today. In the last 2 centuries, improvement in technology and health mean fewer children died young. Fueling rapid population growth, this large family produce even more children who survive into adulthood and had their own children. But with the wider availability of contraception in the 1960s, the global average number of baby per woman has declined from 6 baby per woman to as low as 2. The biggest factor in child mortality is poverty. And while it's still true that only 20% of the world takes about 74% of the world income, 60% of the world now falls into a middle income group, with 11.6%, the smallest amount of people in this story, still living in condition of extreme poverty. If the majority of the world people have money, international aid could realistically achieve the UN target of eradicating poverty by 230. A poverty goes down, life expectancy goes up, birth rates go down because parents can expect their existing children to survive, and the global population stabilizes. As for news stories that make us think the world is an increasingly violent place, there is cause than 1,000 people. Today there are still civil wars, but countries are mostly coexisting more peacefully than in the past. However, terrorism has shot up in the last few years, and since World War II, wars have killed many more civilians than soldiers, even for civilians. So the statistics are not all bad. Also, deaths are 9 times more likely to be a result of violent crime than political conflict. The global murder rate fell slightly from 8 per 100,000 people in the 2000 to about 5.3 in 2015. Of course, none of this means the world is perfect, and whether you personally are affected by war and poverty is often down to the lottery of where you're born. Also, we still face huge problem of our making, particularly if environmental ones like global warming and world and natural resources need to be distributed more fairly. But not all the news is bad news, whatever the TV and newspaper might say. Thank you.